Hey y'all, iRick's Guy here, and within this video I want to talk about how to make the switch from GoPro to Insta360, in my case the Insta360 X4, how to make the switch from GoPro to Insta360 effortlessly. Now before I continue, if you hear that noise in the background, that's thousands of cicadas. It's those insects that come through and make the noise in the trees, so just, you know, you can comment below, but that's what it is, you know. So for starters, I was using GoPro. I started after GoPro Hero 1 because at the time I didn't realize the need for an action camera, but I started with GoPro Hero 2 Black, and then I upgraded almost every GoPro up until GoPro Hero 9 Black when I had my first problems. I had a GoPro Hero 9 that failed. They sent me a replacement. The replacement failed. And after receiving the replacement worked when I got it, but it failed shortly thereafter. GoPro customer service took no additional action. There was no apology. There was no repair or replacement. So anyway, I decided to find other options, and it's a good thing that I did, because actually Insta360 in today's world grossly trumps the performance of any GoPro. And that's what we're going to talk about within this video. Inevitably, if you're like me and you've been using GoPro since Hero 2, you've probably collected an abundance of mounts and you know, just kind of memorized the use of the GoPro, both the camera itself and the app. And you're probably reluctant to want to jump ship and go with a new technology. But that's why I'm posting this video, because being a long-time GoPro user since Hero 2, and like I said, Hero 9, that was the nail in the coffin for me. But, so there's a few things you can do. Now, in the most simplistic way possible, what you can do with the Insta360 X4, and by the way, I've linked the X4, the batteries, the accessories, expand this video's description, and click the link there. In its most simplistic form, you can power on your Insta360 X4, and then once it powers on, you've got options here. For 360 video, you can push the video icon. Right now I'm in 8K, 30 frames per second, 360 degrees. So that films in all directions using both of the cameras on this Insta360 X4. The one that's facing you and the one that's facing me. See, it's got two camera lenses. But you can push that option, and there's also an app, and you can choose, instead of 360, you can do single lens mode. So now I'm in single lens mode, and I can choose, okay, do I want the single lens on this side to be in use in that scenario? Then I've got the, you know, the LCD display on the back to where I can see what it's filming. Likewise, I can push this little menu option within the camera, and it'll use this camera. So if I'm doing a vlog type situation where I want to confirm if I'm in the frame, I can do that. And this is up to 4K 60 frames per second. So this right here, that in itself negates the need for a traditional GoPro camera. So if you're using it like, if you're using the Insta360 X4 like this, and you're filming in single lens mode, and let me pop it up here and I'll show you. So here we go. I'm going to hit record in the Insta360. This is single lens mode, 4K 60. Okay, now I've turned the audio off on my main camera, and I'm using the audio, the built-in microphone audio from my Insta360 X4 that's here in my hand. I'm using 4K 60, that's 4K 60 frames per second, and I'm using the camera that's facing towards me. But this is single lens mode, so this would be I'll call it a one-for-one replacement with a GoPro. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording on my Insta360 X4 right now. So that was a clip, as you just saw and heard. The audio, the built-in microphones in this Insta360 X4, in my opinion, sound phenomenal. And just as a point of reference, the audio that you're hearing now with my face on video is coming from my Sony Alpha camera with a Rode microphone on top. And you can expand this video's description and click the link there to find that camera, the lens, and that microphone as well. But I've found that the built-in microphones in the Insta360 X4 are greatly exceed something that is mildly usable. I'll go as far as to say that the built-in microphones within the X4, they can get the job done, and it can sound very professional. It's got several modes. It's got, and subscribe to and check out my Insta360 X4 videos playlist, but it's got a stereo sound mode, stereo microphone mode, which you heard there. But if you're filming in 360, there's some directional modes, and then there's also wind cancellation option that you can enable within the software. And you can also purchase physical wind screens for the Insta360 X4's microphone. So I mean, the microphone quality of this is exceptional. So you're getting, if you just want to replace your GoPro, using single lens mode is, excuse me, I got something flew up my nose. If you're just using single lens mode, that's a 1-for-1, because just like you did with your GoPro, you filmed your footage, whether it was in 4K 60 or whatever, you downloaded the footage to your computer. You didn't have to use any software in the middle, you just downloaded it. And that's the same with this. When you're doing single lens mode, I can plug this into my computer. I use a Mac, and then I can download it directly into Final Cut Pro 10, which is what I use for editing. You can also download these to your iPhone, your Android device. There's so many options, but I'm just illustrating the switch from GoPro. If you don't want to introduce anything else into the workflow, get you the Insta360 X4, put it in single lens mode, put it at the desired resolution and frame rate, which the clip you just saw was 4K 60, and it has built-in stabilization just like a GoPro does. Boom, problem solved. And now you're probably wondering though, you're like, man, I've accumulated all these GoPro mounts throughout the years, how would I use them? Well, let me turn this off here so I don't push buttons while I'm doing this. The Insta360 X4, oh, and this right here, I've linked it within this video's description too. Definitely something you want to pick up. It's very inexpensive, and it protects your lenses from, and by the way, this has lens protectors on it over the lens, so I would only get smudges on the lens protectors. But then this protects the lens protectors, so while you're not using your Insta360, you can prevent finger smudges, potential scratches. It's just a really nice design. And of course, I put the screen protector on there right out of the box, and I've linked all of that within this video's description. But unlike a GoPro that uses the GoPro mount, see that? And I'll put my head out of there because it's trying to eye focus. That's a standard screw type tripod mount. So in this situation, I've got my Insta360 invisible selfie stick with my own tripod legs attached to it, and I've linked all of those within this video's description too. But in the case of wanting to repurpose some of your GoPro mounts, this is just a standard screw type tripod mount. There's a ton of little mounts that you can get that would enable a standard, and this is Insta360 X4, but they're little adapters that would enable any type of camera with a standard screw type tripod mount on the bottom of it to attach to GoPro mounts. So it's easy. Now I'm not saying this will work with all of your existing GoPro mounts, but if you get an adapter like that, you'll probably find that there's a good quantity of those GoPro mounts that with that adapter will probably work with your Insta360 X4. And I know that's important because especially if you've been in an ecosystem for a long time, in the case of GoPro, then you've probably accumulated a ton of mounts, and you would like to try to avoid having to rebuy all of those mounts if you could. So the pain that a lot of people will try to project with making the switch rather from GoPro to Insta360, this negates pretty much everything. The pain that people try to falsely create is trying to convince someone that an Insta360 is a 360-degree camera, and that's all that it is. We're going to get to that here in a second. No, it's also it's like having two single lens cameras, because you got a lens here and a lens there. So if you're using single lens mode, you can either film with the camera that's facing away from you or the camera lens that's facing towards you, as we just demonstrated. So I mean, think of it as like a GoPro, except it's got 2 physical lenses. Now we're going to get into the part to where it's a little bit different. So what I just talked about was the 1-for-1 swap. You had a GoPro, you're sick and tired of it for whatever reason, you want to get the latest and greatest camera, so you get the Insta360 X4, but you still want to have the same filming workflow. That's what I just demonstrated with single lens mode. Now we're going to get to where it takes it above and beyond the capabilities of GoPro. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take my protective lens cap off. We're going to turn the camera back on, but this time I'm going to do something different. And what I'm going to do this time is click the video icon, and then I'm going to select 360 degree video. So now I've got this set to 8K 360 degree. Now this is where this thing gets really interesting. So this is what you can do, you know, after you say, oh, I've done the single lens mode. It's excellent video quality, it's excellent audio quality. Now I want to trump the performance of my GoPro. Like I said, what we did earlier was basically a 1-for-1 single lens camera shooting in, you know, one direction. Now we've got 2 cameras. We're shooting in 360 degrees, and we're doing 8K at 30 frames per second. And this right here, this is called the invisible selfie stick. This will remove. Now this filming mode, and I'm going to go ahead and start it here and talk while you observe. So what I'm going to do now, I've got my tripod legs. As you can see, it's on the invisible selfie stick with the tripod legs. It's in front of me. I'm not going to use directional mic audio. I could. I'm going to keep it in stereo microphone audio mode, just to be consistent with what you saw earlier with the single lens, single lens mode. So I'm going to hit record. Okay, so now the video and audio that you're seeing and hearing, it's coming from the Insta360 X4, filming in 8K 30, 360 degrees with stereo audio. Now what makes this really interesting, as you can see now, this is a camera that is tracking me. As I walk around the camera, it's tracking me. And this is because I filmed this video natively in 8K 30, 360 degrees, but then within post-production, and this is where it's different from GoPro, so if you're doing spherical, to get this type of effect, what I did was I went into Insta360 Studio app, and then I used what's called a deep track. Subscribe, check out my Insta360 videos playlist. I've got a lot of Insta360 Studio tutorials. But what Insta360 Studio is, and I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my main camera now. So I'm going to stop recording. Okay, now we're back to the main camera here. What Insta360 Studio is, and it's currently available for Windows or Mac, but it's a desktop application. If you've ever used on a Mac, if you've ever used Final Cut Pro, you'll probably find that Insta360 Studio, as far as a functionality, as far as a user interface perspective, it's very similar to Final Cut Pro 10, so it's easy to learn. So what you just saw and heard that I filmed in 8K 30 and 360 degrees, so that was using both of the X4, Insta360 X4's cameras. So I filmed that, and then I had to download it, check out my separate video, Insta360 Studio tutorial, and it'll show you step by step. But to summarize what I did after filming that you just watched, I imported it into Insta360 Studio. After importing it into Insta360 Studio, I ran what's called Deep Track, which tracked me throughout the video. But even though it was filmed in 360 degrees, that exported video was 4K, a standard 4K video, as if it had been captured by a camera operator. You know, the camera was following me. But the reality is that since the Insta360 X4 was filming in all directions at 8K 30, I was then able to go into post-production Insta360 Studio app and have that video track me as if when it was originally filmed that there were multiple camera operators and multiple cameras. And the reality was it was just this one Insta360 X4 that was filming in all directions, but within post-production I had the flexibility of framing the shot however I wanted to. Now I used it, what's called the deep track, and check out my Insta360 Studio tutorial videos, but you could also manually frame those shots too if you wanted to. You don't have to use any sort of AI tracking. So that's where the Insta360 X4 grossly trumps any GoPro on the market today. So just to recap, if you're hesitant to make the switch from GoPro to Insta360, don't be. Because if all you do is get an Insta360 X4, and by the way, expand this video's description and then click the links there. I've got the X4, all the accessories. But if all you do is get an Insta360 X4 and use it in single lens mode, I think from a microphone quality perspective, from a video quality and video stability perspective, subscribe, check out my Insta360 videos playlist, and you'll see some action where I've got, where I'm really putting they call it, I think, flow state stabilization. But it just gives the videos a very gimbal-like look, except it's all software stabilization. So you're getting very well stabilized video, even in single lens mode. So there's really no reason to not make the switch, because if that's all you did is film with single lens mode on your Insta360 X4, in my opinion, and check out the videos online, don't take my word for it, but in my opinion, you're getting far superior microphone audio quality in the X4, and you're getting, I mean, the video, the 4K video with single lens mode, are you going to say that the Insta360 X4's single lens mode video is radically better than the current GoPro 4K video? I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me below and tell me what you think. Is it at least as good? For sure, without a doubt. Is it better? I mean, I'm going to go as far as to say possibly it is. It's definitely not a lesser quality. Speaking of lesser quality, now if you do film in 360, especially at a lower resolution in 360 video at a lower resolution that's framed within post-production, as I demonstrated within this video with the 8K 30 that I reframed using deep track. If you reframe video, sometimes the sharpness and overall quality of that is not quite as good as video that was filmed natively using single lens mode. So keep that in mind. But like I said, if all you do is use this camera as a single lens mode camera, you're going to still be very happy. But now you've got the value add of having the luxury of capturing 360 degree, as if you've got multiple camera operators, 360 degree video reframing in post if you want to take it to the next level. Now keep in mind, and check out my separate videos for this, you can also publish your film footage with the Insta360 X4. You can publish that footage in 360 degree. So if you want to watch it with VR goggles or hand hold your phone and move it around, you can look in all directions while it's playing back. Now I didn't do 360 publish within this video, but subscribe and check out my Insta360 X4 videos playlist, and you can see a lot of native 8K 360 degree videos that I've captured with this Insta360 X4. And be sure to click that little gray gear icon in, I think it's towards the bottom right of the YouTube player, and make sure it's playing. Make sure those are playing back in 8K. I think it'll blow your mind. But yeah, if you're thinking about making the switch from GoPro to Insta360, don't let it deter you. Don't let it deter you. Now, if you got questions or comments, comment below, and I'll be more than happy to try to whip up additional videos to respond to your questions. And I mean, this has been a major upgrade for me already for my video camera arsenal, because now I've got the luxury of 360, but I'm still in the same camera. I've still got a single lens 4K action camera, but I've got an 8K 360 degree camera. So it's kind of it's a step up from where I was. And yes, as I mentioned earlier within this video, part of the switch, well, part of the bulk of the reason that I switched from GoPro was because of my horrible experience with my GoPro Hero 9 Black. Now keep in mind, like I said, I've been using GoPro since GoPro Hero 2 Black, so I'm a long time GoPro user and fan of GoPro. Subscribe, check out my thousands of GoPro videos here on my channel. But poor customer service and unreliable product can really turn a customer away. And it was a perfect storm for me because, you know, my second Hero 9 Black, which was a replacement for the first one they actually replaced, it also failed. But, you know, no response, no we're sorry, no here's a, you know, here's a replacement or here's a repaired GoPro. Nope, none of that. So that totally flipped me. And it's a good thing that it did flip me away from GoPro, because on today's market, Insta360, in my opinion, is a far superior technology. And just the build quality is great. I mean, the build quality of this is, it's a very premium filling product, but it's not just the feel, it's the audio quality from the built-in microphones. And you can add an external microphone to this if you want to. It's the video quality from either single lens mode or 360 degree, where you're using both of the lenses at the same time. I mean, it's a tool that is a step above and beyond what, and I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if GoPro will still be around in a few years, but if they are, I'm willing to speculate that we're going to continue to see rapid innovation from Insta360, whereas even if GoPro still stays around, I have a feeling, and they've already become stagnant, but I have a feeling they're probably going to become more and more stagnant. So if you're pondering making the switch, don't wear yourself out. I hope this video helped. But like I said, if it didn't, ask questions, because I'll try my best to post a video response to answer your question or questions. You know, that's why I'm here, youtube.com/iRicksGuy. And if you don't have an action camera yet, and you're trying to decide between the two, definitely go with Insta360 without hesitation. Again, expand this video's description. You can find the X4 like I'm holding in my hands. This, at the time of filming this video, is the most current and the most powerful Insta360 X series camera. And again, this is the X4. It'll do spherical up to 8K 30, and it'll do the single lens mode 4K at up to 60 frames per second, as I demonstrated earlier within this video. And there's a lot of other modes too. There's like 5.7K. Subscribe, check out, well, there's a wasp. Subscribe, check out my Insta360 X4 videos playlist, and you can see the demos of the various video modes. But just to reiterate, if there's anything you don't see that you would like to see, just comment below, and I'll try to post a video to respond. Hope this video helped. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about cameras, and not just the video quality, but also the audio quality. And this camera for me is an exciting and refreshing and, I mean, just fun new addition to my camera arsenal. Thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell when you do, and that'll notify you whenever I post another video. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRicksGuy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.